Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
A very warm welcome in the second module of Peak 5 of the course Roadmap for Patent Creation, titled Patent Filing Procedure in India. In this module, we will see how the patent system works in India. So, let us start. So, the first step is applicant will create a document that may be provisional specification or it may be a complete specification. This may be drafted by the patent attorney or agent or the applicant himself. He or she will file this specification in the respective patent office as per the jurisdiction. Here also, applicant himself or herself can visit the patent office and file the patent application. The other way is he or she may take help of a patent agent or patent attorney and they can do the work on behalf of the applicant. The other way is on behalf of applicant, someone else can just submit the documents in the patent office. So, all the requisite forms, document, everything, if it is prepared, then someone can just go into the office the patent office, which is within that, what we can say, within which the jurisdiction that you are there, means your jurisdiction, your service address, your residence address and the patent office related to that. That details we will see in the next module, but here you just remember that within that jurisdiction, whatever the patent office is there, that patent office, in that patent office you have to file the patent application. So, it is not necessary that applicant or inventor himself has to visit the office. The service can be done by somebody else and you can just file or submit the application. The document with all the forms duly signed and the check, that obviously the statutory fee, that check you have to withdraw and that along with that application you have to give the check. We know in India there are 4 patent offices and every patent office has some jurisdiction. So, if anyone is filing the application physically, kindly visit the patent office as per the jurisdiction only. The other way, that is the online filing. We have seen IP India site, there we have noted the title somewhere in the patent office site, we have seen that there is a comprehensive e-filing. So, if you visit in the what we can see that in the browsing window, just type IP India, you will go to that IP India site and there you can note the word that is comprehensive e-filing. Through this, anyone can file the patent online, provided applicant should have a digital signature. So, it is mandatory that you should have a digital signature, then only it is possible for you to file the patent application online. So, in this way it can be a physical filing or it may be an online filing. At the time of filing, you have to give or upload all the requisite forms. Whatever that requisite forms are there, we have one dedicated module for this different forms which are required while filing the patent application. So, there we will deal with that. Next is a publication. What is the meaning of publication? Here, after 18 months, the patent application will be published. It is automatically. So, based on the date of the application you have filed, either it may be a provisional or complete, that 0 time is considered and from that 0, exactly at the end of 18 months your patent application will be published. What exactly is published? The bibliographic information, abstract, number of claims, number of drawings. This information will be published. Where it will be published? It will be published in the official gazette. So, where you can see this official gazette? On the IP India site, you can check the publication. So, you can just check the title as a publication, and if you click on that publication, you can just visit that gazette or you can see the title as a journal. So, either of the title if you click, these both titles are available on the site. You can click on this and you can visit the journal. Every Friday this gazette will be updated or it will be published. You can click on it and then you can just open that PDF and you can go through the gazette. This publication is automatic and there is no requirement of any fee. Publication is automatic after 18 months. However, if anyone want to publish the patent earlier than that 18 months, then he or she has to give requisite statutory fee that we called as a express, what we can say it may be a express way of patent prosecution, and you can file the requisite form for that, you can give the requisite fee for that, and then the patent application will be published. This filing also anyone can do physically or online. So, that express publication request that you can do the online filing of that form, you can give fees online and then your patent will be published before 18 months. Now, again you have to follow the jurisdiction. So, wherever you have filed the patent, then there obviously in that patent office only you have to give that request. Now, again either applicant himself or anyone on behalf of the applicant can file this request by giving the requisite forms fees to the officer in the patent office, or any applicant can use a online mode provided digital signature is available. So, this is what the publication step is, the second step. Now, the third step, next step, that is a examination. Whether this is automatic like a publication or you require to give some fees for that? Yes, you have to give fees for that, it is not automatic, you have to file the request for examination. So, here the applicant have to give the request for examination along with the requisite fees. Unless until this request is received by the patent office, the application cannot be considered for the patent examination. So, here please note publication, that normal publication it is a automatic, but examination is not automatic, applicant has to file the request. Here again same rules, the applicant should fill the requisite form, draw that check amount, that check with a requisite whatever the statutory fee is there, and then file the request for examination. On behalf of applicant, anybody can just visit the patent office, they can submit the form, they can give the check and they will receive the receipt from the patent office. So, this mode also can be opted by the applicant. Also on behalf of applicant, anyone can deposit the forms and fees just like a patent attorney or patent agent, that through that route also you can file the examination request. So, the next question is there any timeline for this filing this request? Yes, the timeline is 48 months. So, anyone who have filed the patent application, then from the priority date, the time for filing the request for examination is 48 months. So, that is the timeline. So, 0 you have filed, at the end of 18 months publication, and you have a time of 48 months for filing the examination request. If that timeline is not followed, applicant will lose that patent. So, if somebody forget to file the request for examination, then your patent after 48 months it will go into the public domain. So, again remember, it is mandatory to follow the timeline diligently when anyone is dealing with a patent. So, patent is filed, published, request for examination is also filed. Then next, what is it? Is as per the workload of the patent office, what will happen? That patent application will be queued up in the system. So, earlier patent applications will be there and your patent application will now have some number and that will be in queue for the examination when you file the examination request. In due course, it will be allocated to the examiner. Remember, examiner is expert in that field. So, if the patent application is related to mechanical engineering, then your patent application will be allocated to the examiner who is expert in mechanical engineering. If the patent application is related to chemistry, then the patent application will be allocated to the patent examiner who is expert in chemistry. In this way, the patent application is now under examination. Patent examiner will now do the thorough examination of your patent. Now, what it will be including that whole examination process, what exactly examiner do? First, examiner will check if the patent follow the criteria of patent. You know what is that criteria? So, there are 3 criteria, important criteria for patent. You remember? Novelty, non-obviousness and industrial applicability. So, as discussed in detail in earlier module, examiner will check the patent database, other literature and check if your patent application and the claims you have claimed in the document are really novel, first time in the world. He will check the non-obviousness aspect and then the industrial applicability aspect of the patentability. So, he will check all these 3 main things or main 3 criteria for the patentability. He will also check the document in a view of other guidelines. So, what are these other guidelines? There are many such guidelines. I will cite here a few guidelines. The first, whether the invention is not following the category, that is, invention is not the in section 3 of the Patent Act gives you the details that inventions which are not patentable in India. So, first thing examiner will do is that he will check or she will check that if your patent is following any of these that listed things. If it is according to that, obviously that patent will not be, that invention will not be considered for the grant. So, that first, that is a section 3 check. So, what are these that inventions which are not patentable? What is that section 3 is that? We have dedicated one complete module for this. The other thing examiner will check if the invention is not following that it is not falling under the section 4 of the Indian Patent Act. So, section 4 is related to secrecy directions. So, the examiner will check if it is not falling under that category of a section 4. Then the next check will be regarding the earlier use of the patented information. So, before filing the patent application, if you have published that thing or if you have done the commercialization of your invention, that if it has been done, if any such report is there or if something is there, he or she will check everything regarding that. So, if any commercialization is already done, obviously that will not be considered for a patent grant. So, that is the next guideline. So, if you say that he or she will refuse to file the patent as you have already bought the product in the market. So, that the meaning is that if your product is already in the market and after that you have filed the patent, obviously you will not get the grant for that patent because novelty aspect is not followed. It is the product is already in the public domain. So, such guidelines are there which will be checked by the examiner. So, first that examiner will check that main criteria of patent, that 3 things, novelty, non-obviousness and industrial applicability. Then these guidelines, section 3, section 4, commercialization, all these things that will be checked. Okay. Next, anything else examiner will examine? Yes, he or she. So, what the next thing examiner will check? He or she will check if there are any clerical mistakes. So, if there is any clerical mistake in the form while you are filing the form, or then obviously not the description part, but in the forms, if there is any mistake, that will be checked by the examiner. So, mistake related to that whatever the standards are there, if you have not filled the standard things whatever required in the form. If you have not followed that rules regulation regarding that, obviously that will be checked up by the examiner. So, if such mistakes are there, that will be noted. He or she will check the he will note all that mistakes whatever are there. Next, he will check the drawing, that is a drawing sheets. There are rules and regulation and guidelines are there that how the drawings should be there. What is that size and then size, font size of the used in the patent document, that is also there. What is the spacing, then how the drawing number should be given, how the name of the applicant should be written, all these guidelines are there. So, he or she will check that drawing sheet, he will check if you have followed the guidelines while drawing the figures. Also there are some standard guidelines, that is a paper size, then how the what we can say that writing information about the that why when you are writing the information on the sheet, where you should put the applicant name, anything else you have to put. So, he will check everything thoroughly, and then after that after checking everything, he will create the first examination report, that is called as a FER. So, this is such a thorough examination based on above mentioned all observation. So, all that patentability criteria, any clerical things, any clerical mistakes are there in the forms, section 3, section 4 related guidelines, commercialization related things. So, all these things will be checked, and then based on that a detailed first examination report will be issued by the examiner. Nowadays everything is online, so you will get email from the patent office, and the FER will come as a, that is a first examination report will be there in the attachment to the email. And if you have asked for the physical communication, then that first examination report will be dispatched and you will receive it through the Indian Postal Service. So, this is what the examination report. So, now in your hand the examination report is there. Now, applicant has to go through the first examination report and give the reply to the first examination report. It is mandatory and it should be given in the 6 months. So, that timeline is there, within 6 months you have to give the reply to the first examination report. There is a standard format in which you can just prepare that in the specific way, and then that you will follow that format, and then you can give the reply to that first examination report. Now, here applicant himself can draft that reply, or again he can hire a attorney or a patent agent for this drafting. Then you have to send this reply either online or by a physical filing. So, if you have a digital signature, you can just upload that FER on the patent office site, or maybe then if that digital signature is not there and you yourself have drafted that, you can just go into the patent office and you can file it physically. Okay. So, this is what the FER and the reply to the FER. So, patent application is done, publication, examination, reply to examination. Now, what next? Next is if examiner is satisfied by your reply. So, if you have cleared whatever the questions are raised, whatever the queries are raised, if you have given the information correctly. So, correctly in what sense? If you have your reply sufficiently explains and clears all queries, then examiner will accept the invention. However, if she or he require further clarification, if he is not satisfied with any of the explanation, or if he or she want to know more about that particular invention, then what the thing he or she can do? The next step is a hearing. So, what is the hearing is there? Hearing is the process where applicant have to visit the patent office and there answer the queries and explain the invention in much detail and clarify all the queries raised by the examiner. So, nowadays there is no necessity to visit the patent office because you can do this hearing online also. So, through the video conferencing route, the hearing will be conducted. So, the other important thing it is not necessary that the same patent office where you have filed the patent will issue the FER. So, now as the system is centralized, FER will be issued by any of the office and hearing may be at any of the 4 offices. So, for example, if you have filed the application in patent office in Mumbai and that due to that central system, it may be the possibilities that the examiner from Delhi patent office will examine your patent and you will get FER from the Delhi patent office and then you can do the online hearing. So, the system is centralized. So, again here applicant himself or on behalf of him patent agent or patent attorney can present himself for hearing either physically or online. Okay. After that, now there can be 3 situations. Examiner is totally satisfied by your clarifications, you have cleared all the queries and he will grant the patent and proceed for the advertisement accordingly into the gazette. We have seen that every Friday the gazette is updated. So, that will go into the publication mode. Second is that you may not able to establish the case and due to any of the reason like novelty issue or industrial applicability issue or already commercialization of that invention, anything like that, the patent will not be granted, it will be rejected. 2 extreme things may happen. The third scenario in between these 2 extreme is that suppose your patent document is with a 10 claims. Okay. So, the possibility is that you are able to clarify the queries related to say 3 claims and then whatever the remaining 7 claims are there, you are not able to clarify the queries related to that 7 claims. Then in that case what will happen? Examiner will say that okay, that 3 claims you are able to clear, that 3 claims are fine, everything is okay about these 3 claims, but these 7 claims are not as per the what we can say the act, the rules and guidelines. So, what will happen? Here only 3 claims will be accepted and remaining 7 will be rejected. So, that is the partial acceptance of the patent. Thus, here you have to then amend the application accordingly. So, you have to remove that 7 claims and do that amendments accordingly and resubmit the application, patent application to the examiner. He will review that if you have done everything correctly and then after that he will accept it as a partially that amended patent application and now accordingly it will be published in the official gazette. So, the process started with the application, then publication, then examination, then first examination report, then reply to that first examination report, then hearing and after hearing the patent will be granted or rejected or partially accepted. Okay. Anything else is there other than this? Yes, there is a one parallel system goes in the patent office that is called as a opposition system is there. So, now what is this opposition thing is there? In India, there are 2 stages in the total patent prosecution where opposition can be filed. Which are these 2 stages? Pre-grant opposition and a post-grant opposition. We will not go in much details of that here, but briefly I will explain it as pre-grant opposition. It is a stage where patent is not still granted, but it is a published. So, you can imagine you have filed the patent, now it is published. Okay. So, after publication if anyone feel that this application should not be granted, then that anyone who is feeling that he can file the request to the patent office by filing the requisite form and that is called as a pre-grant opposition. Then what is a post-grant opposition? Post-grant opposition is a process where person skilled in the art, we remember this FOSITA thing, right. So, the person skilled in the art, he, only he, in the pre-grant opposition anyone have the right to file the pre-grant opposition. In the post-grant opposition, the person who is skilled in that art, he can file the opposition. So, for example, the person who is skilled in the art, so suppose invention is in the mechanical domain, then the person who is a mechanical engineer and working in that particular specific domain can file the opposition using a requisite form and he will file that to the patent office, that he will give that form. Now, obviously, when you are doing this opposition, you have to substantiate thing with the evidential documents. So, it is expected that when you say that either you are filing a pre-grant opposition or post-grant opposition is there, that should be substantiated by the evidences. And again, you have to give the reason that why, what is the ground, because there are specific grounds mentioned in the act. You have to select that, okay, based on that particular ground you are opposing the particular patent application. Again, examiner will consider both this opposition for post grant opposition and then that timeline according to that timeline, means for post grant opposition the timeline is that after grant but before a 1 year. So, after grant only 1 year is there to file the post grant opposition. Okay. So, pre-grant is after publication till the grant and post-grant is after grant only for a 1 year. So, that timeline is important. Okay. So, once the acceptance of invention for grant is published in the official gazette, then from the date, that 1 year timeline, the post-grant opposition is filed. Okay. So, this is about the opposition. Remember here that someone who is challenging the patent examination, when you are opposing, that is a post grant opposition is there, it is a serious stage because you are opposing the here what we can say the grant. Already the examiner has done all the process and he has thoroughly examined that patent document, and after that somebody is opposing that thing. So, it is the little bit a serious stage, and therefore, you have noted that only person who is skilled in the art have a right to file that post grant opposition. Okay. Again, his opposition is dismissed, then the patent will be granted. If opposition is upheld, patent will not be granted. So, depending on the opposition, either it will be granted or it will not be granted. So, is there any other further remedy in the Patent Act for it if any party is aggrieved by the decision of the patent examiner? There is a remedy, that is a patent appellate board. So, we will not go in details of that patent appellate board, but there is a remedy if anybody is not happy or anybody is aggrieved by the decision of the examiner. So, whole this process of the patent prosecution, right from that filing up to the total grant, it generally takes 4 to 5 years in India. But remember that although you have that 5 years timeline, when you file that patent, at that time only you can start the working on that patent, that invention, you can commercialize that thing, but you can execute right only after the grant of patent, because it is not sure, you are not sure whether it will be granted or not. It can be, you can be very sure if you are doing the search report. So, if you have done the search report before filing the patent, and if you find that search report is positive while filing that patent, then you need not to worry about that grant or not, because of search report you are pretty well up to what we can say 95% you are sure that okay, this patent will be granted. Okay. So, this is like the total prosecution. Your right starts after application, but you can execute your rights after grant only. Okay. Now, if there is any infringement within the timeline before grant, what will you do? So, at that time the remedy is that you just notify the person or a party who is infringing your patent that this invention is under examination, it is already filed, and you can say that okay, if that is granted, you may attract the litigation. So, such kind of some that notice you can just give to the party who has infringed. There is a possibility that before 18 months somebody is using that thing. So, patent is not in the public domain, and because of that ignorance there is a chances that somebody is copying that thing. So, and sometimes because they are not aware about that publication and patent, because of that ignorance also there is a possibility that they are copying or infringing your invention. So, it is better that you should give you notify that thing, and you should, after that notification also, if it is not stopped, then you have that after grant you can execute your right. So, we will not go in detail, but you should this is for your information. We will not go in these details further. So, just see the timeline: provisional or complete, then publication, examination, first examination report, then a grant of a patent, to opposition, pre-grant and post-grant opposition. Okay. So, this is what the total cycle of the patent prosecution. Okay. Now, here we will see video, one interesting video. Okay. So, with this we come to the end of this session. See you in the next session. Thank you.